Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial today. So today is different, okay? I'm going to be teaching how I use the fabric that I had that is just left to make this bag. I actually have a skill in bag making, but I left it dormant. So when I had this leftover fabric, I decided to use it to make this bag. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to be attaching that kind of press hook to that part so it can close very well. So I'm showing you, it looks like a Mickey Mouse. Yes, though this is my first trial since it's been long I made bags. But if you want to be seeing more of bags, then leave a comment in the comment section, okay? So here are the patterns. This is the front, and this is the base, and this is the back. Okay, so this is the front, that part that overlaps the cover. And this is the attachment of the back attachment, which is attached to this cover. This is where the zipper is going to be attached, okay? So the whole of this pattern, I created it in a very kind of a rough scale before bringing it out to finish. Like this is the rough scale before bringing it out to finish, okay? I also do a video on that. That is very intense. I'll do a video on that. So this is what this pattern looks like. And I'm going ahead to cut it now. You can screenshot this and use exactly this pattern to make yours, okay? It will come out nice. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do well to subscribe. And if you want to see more of back tutorial, leave a comment for me in the comment section, okay? This year, I'm here to serve you better, to make sure that I bring you clothes, sewing tutorials about clothes and also about bags, 100% fabric. You don't have to fear about hammer, plier, whatever. We're using 100% fabric and we are sewing all through. So I'm going ahead to cut according to the shape on the pattern, okay? I'm going ahead to the cut according to the shape on the pattern. And this is what I'm doing right now. This is what I'm doing right now, cutting according to that very particular shape, okay? And I'm going ahead to keep cutting, like so. Cutting also like so, cutting. So this is what it looks like now. We have 1, 2, 3. And also I'm going ahead to cut these very ones to separate them. So this is what I've done. I'm going to separate these ones, and this one is going to be full, while these ones we are having them like so. Okay, this is what the patterns looks like. Like that attachment of the back, I told you that is going to be at the front like so. This is what it looks like, okay? These are all the patterns put together, so you can screenshot them, and if you use exactly this pattern, you're going to be having the exact same bag that I made, okay? So here is it. Heading straight to the fabric, I'm gonna head to cut on the fabric, and as you can see, those white stuffs, I interfaced it, okay? I used a thick interface for the fabric and a very light one for the lining. This is the lining. I'll set this aside, and I'm also going to be showing you the cover. This is the cover. I used a thick interface for the fabric and light one for the lining, okay? And here are the zipper stuffs, and this is the back attachment. Also, I interfaced light one, both of them, light interface, both of them. And for the zipper, I had 4 pieces of it. I interfaced them with light interface for the 4 of them. So this is what they look like, okay? Now head straight to the sewing. So for the sewing, I'm going ahead to cover up that zigzag area. If it were straight, I would have used the lining to turn it up immediately, but since it has this zigzag curve and it's been long I made bags, so I'm trying to do this now because I feel this will help me. Okay, as a beginner, this is going to help you. You don't even want to turn up with your lining because you get confused. So this is actually going to help you. And so like you have to do this first. Whatever you're doing here is also what you do to the lining. So because this is curved shape, I'm slitting it a little, notching it a little to help me sew appropriately every part of it. So this is what I'm just going to do basically to all the edges to make them come out nice. Some parts were just giving me headache on the sewing, but ah, it's well though. I'll be doing more of bags so I don't forget my bag skills. Like I don't forget the skill I've acquired in making bags. So I'm going ahead to sew them all. And I'm also doing that, notching at that very curved edge so I'll be able to sew that part very well, okay? And that's what I'll be doing to sew up all the curved edges. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, once again, please do well to subscribe. Leave a comment for me in the comment section. Like this video and share to other platforms where it will be needed, okay? Thank you. So I'm going ahead to sew. I don't know why my sewing machine is misbehaving. Like, I don't know whether the harmattan is affecting it. I don't know, seriously. So I'm just trying to fix this back. Sorry for boring you with it. I actually had to edit this part out, but I don't know why it's here. So I'm sewing it all the way down. I'm trying to make sure that this tutorial is as detailed as possible. Okay, I'm sewing up all the edges, everything. And that's the same thing we're going to be doing to this other part, okay? So here is it. I've gone ahead to sew up everywhere, and I'm now joining the fabric with the lining, okay? But before I join the fabric with the lining, firstly, we'll have to be working on the lining first because there's something we are going to be attaching on the lining that we do not want it to show on the fabric. Okay, so please, that's why I'm removing this now. We want to attach the zipper to the lining first so it doesn't show on the main bag, which is the fabric we are using on the main bag. So same thing we did to that very other part, we're also doing to our zipper holder, something like that, our zipper attachment, okay? We're going ahead to sew it all the way around like so. I'm going ahead to sew it all the way around also like so. So that's what I'm going to be doing to each and every one of them. So heading over to sewing it onto the zipper, I tried this one first and I'm going to be showing you how I did it. Okay, you want to take one part and sew onto the zipper wherever you want to start. It's not mandated on the amount of the how many inches you want to start with. So wherever you want to start that suits the bag you're making, the length of your bag. So for this very one, you have to put the zipper and measure it with the space on the bag where it's going to be attached. And so I'm going ahead. So I think from that very edge, I left about 3 inches. Yes, 3 inches. And then I started sewing up until this point. So I haven't sewn the first one. I'm going to be using the second one to cover it up so that we'll hide that interface, okay? And it comes out neat and nice. So that is what I'm doing now. I'm gonna have to sew it up like so. So this is it. I'm going ahead to sew this part also. So this is what it looks like, okay? You want to open your zipper, close it. You remember this part of the bag, okay? So I haven't done this. This is what it looks like. So after that, we'll go ahead to attach this now to the lining. Oh my God, I don't know why I left all these spaces. So go ahead to attach this now to the lining, okay? And here is my lining. I was actually marking, please. So I marked 1 inch from that tip all the way down, 1 inch down, sorry. And I also marked the center. Please, you want to take note of the center of where the zipper attachment is, and also the center of the very particular lining we are attaching it to. Just like I'm doing now, please take note of the center so that everything is in line, so it doesn't look irregular. everything is in accordance, everything aligns, please. So I'm making sure that the center is in line with the center of the lining, the zipper holder is in line with the center of the lining, and I'm sewing it on that 1 inch line all the way like so. I'm sewing it all the way like so, okay? So I actually sewed on the back. I don't know how many of you were observant. So I turned it over to make sure it's the front, okay? I sewed the back, the zipper back area. So I turned it over to sew to the front. And now I'm also doing the same thing to the other side. Exactly what you did to the other side is what you're doing to the lower part of it, okay? So they are aligned, so they're in accordance, okay? I'm also marking 1 inch, and also on my center, and also at the sides. And then I'm also going to make sure that the zipper holder center aligns with the center of the lining. Exactly what we did to the other side. That is what we are also doing here. Please, if you are using a colored fabric, do not use chalk, do not use pen. Use chalk, something you can easily clean, please. It's because this fabric will not show that I'm using a pen. That is why I'm using a pen. So please use chalk. Do not use pen if you're using um, a colored fabric. Yeah. So I'm going ahead to do this like so. So as you can see, this is what we are having. I'm gonna have to open it up, okay? So now I'm sewing it onto the fabric. We are sewing it onto the main fabric, okay? You're sewing it onto the main fabric. Remember, you're concentrating on the fabric. So if the lining is kind of bigger, just push it inwards and keep sewing. You're concentrating on the main fabric, not the lining, because that's what's going to be on the outside. So if your lining is popping out a bit, push it inside and keep sewing, okay? So now I'm going ahead to sew up. This part is very, very important. I'm closing up the sides now, and this is what I'm doing. I'm sewing all the way from the top, and I'm stopping at this very part where it looks like there's a dart. It is actually a dart, not looks like. So I'm stopping there, and I'm kind of opening it like so, and sewing this like a V, okay? Like this and like so. Please, that's what I'm just doing now. And I'm sewing this up like a V. I'm putting this like so and I'm sewing this like so. I'm sewing it like a V, okay? I'm trying to push some the very other part inside so it doesn't affect the sewing, or so I don't stitch it into this very part. So I'm completing the other side of the V. This is self-explanatory. If you watch closely, you understand what I am doing, okay? I'm pushing this part of the V. And I'm going to be turning this over to see if I like what the outcome looks like. It's like I didn't sew this other part, so I'm going ahead to complete it, to sew it properly so it doesn't leak and I don't have anything missing from my bag when I use it. So I'm done stitching it down. So I'll go ahead to open this to see if I love what it looks like. And I'm turning it open. Let's see what it looks like. Voila. Well, I think this is okay. I think it's okay. I think this is okay. So I think this is okay. I'm trying to close the bag to see if to see what it looks like to have a good view of it. Okay, it's okay. I think it's okay. So I'll go ahead to sew up the other side. Okay. So having done that, now we'll go ahead to sew up that very upper area that I told you is for the closing of the bag. That part that has the Mickey Mouse whatever attached to it. So I'm going to have to sew it up now. So I'm sewing it all the way around. Unlike the other one, this one I'm kind of turning it right side facing right side. And I'm going to be sewing, then I'll turn it over. Okay. So same thing I'm going to be doing to every side of it. Just sew it, turn it over. Okay. So I found out it wasn't turning. Then I had to mark notches, okay? For every rounded shape, you have to mark notches so it turns very well and lays flat, even when you've not ironed it. And the electricity is out, so I didn't iron any of this. I only had electricity to interface, but while I was sewing, it was out, so there was no time. I wasn't able to iron them. But please, if you have electricity, iron whatever you sew, including the main bag, iron, please. So I'm top stitching it right away. Top stitching it right away, okay? So having done that, I'm going to be taking the very back attachment and I'll be sewing it onto it like so. You want to check where your center is and also this very part like so. I'll make sure that they align center by center and I'll be sewing all the way down, okay? So I'm making sure they all align, like putting center by center, like so. And I'll be using my pin to hold this down, okay? So I'm trying to close up this part like we want to sew a collar. I'm trying to close up this part first. So watch closely what I'm sewing. I'm trying to make sure that I sew up the edges. That was I had to sew the edges first. So when I turn it over, it will be easier for me to lay it and top stitch it. So I'm pushing the main the close your inside, the bag, the close of the bag inside. I don't know what do they call this again. I'm pushing this inside to top stitch to be able to stitch the sides of that back attachment. Okay. So when I turn it over, this is what I'm having. So I'm going to be covering it like so. So this is what I'm doing right now. Now go ahead to top stitch it all the way around of that back attachment. Okay. So yeah, cutting it out. Every hanging thread around, I'm removing it. Okay. So this is what it looks like. And of course, we are going to be attaching this to the main fabric, not on the lining. Okay, I'm going to be showing you where I'll be attaching this, like so, from the back, and it covers over to the front. I hope you understand. From the back and it covers over to the front. Okay, so I'm going ahead to do that right now. So I'm stitching it off from the back, and you want to make sure that you mark the center of your bag. So from the very center I marked while attaching my zipper, that is also the center that I'm going to be using now. And also I'm going ahead to mark the center of this very particular stuff also, and I'm going to be attaching it like so. So I'm using my pin to hold it down. Then I'll go ahead to lay everything flat and make sure that nothing is going to be sewing where it's not supposed to be sewn. So I'm going ahead to stitch on the very top, the topmost part of the back. That's where we are stitching from. Okay. So I'm stitching it like so. Only at that back attachment, please. That is what we are stitching. Just the back attachment, please. That's just where we are stitching, the back attachment. I hope you understand. We are stitching only the back attachment, please. So having done that now, I'm going ahead to, I cut a long strap fabric, length 32. It depends on how long you want your bag to fall when you hang it on your shoulders. So you want to measure from your shoulder to where you want the bag to stop when you hang it. So for this one, I don't want the bag to be hanging so low. So I had to cut 32 inches. And by the time I hang it on my shoulder, the bag is stopping somewhere around my waistline. So if you want yours to be stopping around your hip or whatever, you can increase this strap. So I used 32 for mine, okay? It's optional. where you want your bag to stop hanging. That's the length of what you're going to measure from your shoulder to where you want your bag to stop hanging, okay? So this is what we're having, you guys. Can you see what it looks like? So I want to attach the hand of the bag to the bag. Can you guys see what we're having? Wow, this is so nice. So I want to attach the hand of the bag to the bag, okay? So I'll be using my tape to mark on the side. I'm checking the length. We have 5 inches, so I'm marking 1.5 inches. That is where I'm going to be starting to attach the hand of the bag. Even on the other side also, I'll be marking 1.5 inches. That is where we'll be starting to attach the hand of the bag, okay? So I'm sewing this now. This can actually be very difficult to sew, but please make sure you lay flat and make sure you're sewing on the part where you're supposed to sew so that you don't start loosening and all that. You have to be very careful sewing this part, okay? And the bag is now thick, so you have to also be careful with your sewing machine. As you can see, I'm finding it difficult to turn or to remove it, but yeah, it's actually because of the thickness of the bag. So as you can see, the bag is durable. So the other side also, I'm going to have to attach it like so. So I'm going ahead to sew up the other side also. And I'm cutting off all the excess threads that are hanging around it. So this is me trying to close it up now. So this is what it looks like. Then I'm going to be looking for how to attach that Mickey Mouse whatever. I don't know what happened to my circle, but please make sure your circle is better than my own. So this is this and this is this, okay? My circle is not circling at all. But please make sure your circle is nice. Make sure your circle is very beautiful. So I'm going to be attaching it like so. At this point, I was actually getting very tired. I was exhausted. Like at this point, I was tired. It has finished. My strength was almost finished. But I was like, I must finish this tutorial. I have to finish this tutorial. So I'm using my pin to hold this down. I felt like this wasn't okay. So for the red bow, this was what I did. Okay, I'm checking it out. And guys, this is what this bag looks like. Come on. I'm going to be using this bag for like, all those church stuffs like that. Maybe casual places and stuff like that. And I bet you I'm bringing a more interesting bag tutorial, a more professional one. You want to subscribe to this channel and leave a comment in the comment section. And I will see you in the next video, okay? Thanks for watching. Bye.